Hello and welcome to another episode of the One-on-One Sports Webcast. I'm your host, Cam Siselsky, and we start off today's show with a segment we like to call MLB Hashtags. I'm joined at the desk by Connor DelPrete and Stu Semonite. Now guys, I want each of you to provide a hashtag for each of the 4 remaining teams in the playoffs. Stu, let's start with you, and let's start with the Toronto Blue Jays.
All right, I got hashtag flip all of the bats. That's right, we gotta flip every single one, every hit, get that intensity level up, just keep going with it. You want this series? Let's go.
All right, I like that. Mine went with a bat flip theme as well. It went, the bat flip heard around the world. You can see it did a little world right there. But seriously, the Blue Jays need to have more excitement, like you're saying. It's the playoffs. They need to pump up the audience, things like that. But they also need big plays like the Joey Bats home run in the ALDS, and they need Josh Donaldson to step up. They need Edwin Encarnacion to step up. They need guys like that to actually perform, because so far, I think before yesterday's game, they were 4 for 22 in that series. They need to step up if they want to make it to the World Series.
No, I 100% agree. They got to get the intensity up. They need to act like a team who wants to win, is desperate to win this series. So now we're going to move to the other AL team left. The Kansas City Royals. And Connor, as soon as you're done writing, we're going to get your hashtag for this.
I'm done, and it's quick. It's quick because they are the heart attack kids. And now let me tell you why. This is a team where you thought they were out against the Astros in Houston in Game 4 of that in their series against the Astros. They came back with, I think, 5 runs in the 8th inning to come back, steal that win from the Astros, and then win the next game in Kansas City. And then they erupted for 5 runs against David Price. But they had these like little spans where they just score a ton of runs, but in other times they have Johnny Cueto coming out and playing pretty horribly. And so they're a team that relies on those big plays after some poor performances. But they need to keep it up. I mean, if it's working for them, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm with Connor on that one. My hashtag is hashtag keep it together, because like you said, Kansas City is one of those teams that after a big loss, they can rebound, they can come back, get those 5 runs in the 8th and do all this. They have a way better pitching staff than Toronto does. They haven't been laying up at least 5 runs per game. I think that Kansas City will, when they get back, they're just going to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, it's youth, it's inexperience, it's explosiveness with the Blue Jays, and then it's this experienced team that's been scary so far, throughout this series. So we'll see what happens. Transitioning from the AL to the NL, now we're going to talk about the New York Mets. And Stu, we're gonna go with your hashtag here.
All right, I got hashtag Murphy's Law, because Daniel Murphy has been heating up. He has 5 home runs already in this postseason. He has 2 in this series. He has beaten the Chicago Cubs almost single-handedly. And so when you have a player like that doing it all by himself, doing all of this work, what else do you need besides the Mets' amazing pitching staff? But we're gonna ignore that for the time being.
For the time being, it's all about the Mets batting right now, and that's why I say, here's to putting more Band-Aids on the Big Apple. I don't know if you saw it, but the New York Mets field and ground staff put a Band-Aid on the apple in center field that Travis d'Arnaud hit with that home run a couple games ago. And Murphy's been erupting. I think he's got 5 home runs. He's hit a home run off 3 past Cy Young winners, or Cy Young candidates, excuse me. And so this is a Mets team that's relying on the long ball right now, and it's working for him. And so here's to put more Band-Aids on that Big Apple with the holes from the home runs.
That's what's going to work for him, and they got to keep that up in order to be successful in the series. Obviously, Murphy's been great. It'll be interesting to see if some other guys can step up and round out that team. So now we're going to talk about the last team left in this postseason, the other team in the NL, and we're going to talk about the Chicago Cubs.
The Chicago Cubs.
The Cinderella team. What are they going to do?
The Cinderella team that's built off young players like Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, Kyle Schwarber. They need these young bucks to step up. Now, Kyle Schwarber's been hitting some home runs against the Mets, coming in clutch. Chris Bryant had a clutch double, yet they didn't win that game. But they need these young guys to keep stepping up. Half the lineup is made up of rookies, essentially. So, of course, half the team's going to have to step up. People need to step up. Jake Arrieta's faltered, and so someone else has to pick up this load. I think a guy like Chris Bryant could do it. He's potential for Rookie of the Year candidate right here. This is where he boosts his campaign. He boosts his profile to become Rookie of the Year, and they step up and maybe take some games from the Mets.
All right, I got hashtag just win one, guys. Come on, just win one. You don't want to get swept in the first NLCS you've been in 12 years, and it's one of the only NLCSs you've ever been to. Just win this one.
Oh, and the Mets fans will let you hear about it, too.
They will. But come on, Chicago. Just win one.
Yeah, you know what? For the Cubs, it's gut check time.
It's gut check.
It's do or die.
DeGrom on the mound, it's gut check time. It's gut check time with DeGrom on the mound.
We'll see what happens. It's been an exciting postseason so far.
Yep.
That's all the time we have to talk about baseball. But when we come back, we'll trade the ball for the puck and talk some NHL. Come back.